When a seasoned politician like Farah Maalim is making such a statement in public, then clearly it tells you the way the society is rotten, and the political patronage of defending the big man makes even people to suspend common sense. I saw this video, and if you go to Twitter now, Farah Maalim is trending.
عرفت تجارتي لما قررتي لقيت حرام تلمس وكري قدام وهقول السنوات في سنته يوصف المسو دعني ولي يعني فرواها الخمسة ستيت هاوس الخمسة العربية أنت مرونها يقول شكرا هذا ما كدينا serious there's not two ways about the statecraft the statecraft was statecraft the creation of the Italian state Garibaldi and Zamorati French Revolution Napoleon Bonaparte and Zamorati English can read the history how many people died state formation you just have to make sure that the state is protected because you're protecting the state both from internal enemy and external enemies. Okay, in a sense, it's very bad. Extremely bad. I'm so kind of hard on that. Benevolent dictator sitting under the broker, sitting Saddam Hussein broker, sitting Fidel Castro broker, shooting the main beginning about the Sabu Shaqaini, they are looking at the league and you basically. Yeah. Or Czechs or Arab, basically Singapore from the lowest to the highest.
He's trending because of that statement. And we want to be fair enough and say yes, I have heard him speaking, and when he's asked about this in Kenyan, I'm also going to play for you that interview. And he's saying that he was speaking about killing 5,000, that he didn't say he would kill 5,000 Gen Zs. And he was talking in the context of the fight between Somaliland and Somalia. Of course, an MP in Kenya, as a Kenyan MP, I have seen people talking about this keenly. And Farah Maalim believes that in case of that conflict, then as a president, which he has never is not been, he will kill 5,000. Even if it is not Gen Zs, even if it is then Somaliland and Somalia, does that make it better? Is it a lesser life than other? Because yes, he's saying he didn't mean Gen Zs, he meant Somaliland clash. But is that what leaders can root for? Killing people instead of peace? So Debal asked Farah Maalim about that question, and indeed he's saying he didn't talk about, he didn't say that in the context of our case. But I still understand that does not make it better either. Even the fact that it was not Kenya, it was not about our case, does not make it better, and I will explain to you why.
I have always spoken my mind. I might be, politically incorrect right now. And a lot of people out there who are excited about these things and think that I've seen that kind of excitement before. Let us use stability and let us get rid of whoever we want to get rid of as a nation using the instruments of democracy and progressively and keep on engaging in dialogue. But when you say occupy this, occupy that, be my guest. You want to do it? Let's see. But I know that.
So that statement still, you say
no.
It has been according to your testimony. It has been. You didn't say that you massacre 5,000 of the Gen Zs if you are the president.
I never mentioned Gen Z. I never mentioned any Gen Z. Listen to me carefully.
Of the protesters.
No. I actually talked about this thing was pretty much in line with the Somali situation. In here, we just said we need to have the upholding of the rule of law. You get my point? Rule of law. But of course, the people who are interested in anything you do, they do their own changes, a cut and paste, and put it in like that. I mean, it's been done to me many times in the past. Let me tell you one thing. It doesn't bother me one inch. But for my own position and opinions, and what I hold myself, what I believe in, I have never made a secret of that. By the way, I was the only opposition member of parliament, basically one of the most active members of parliament at a very young age, and everybody else from my region was in Kano that time. So, and that time, we didn't have the kind of the window of what you call freedom that we have right now, and democracy we have right now. Right now, we are way, leaps and bounds from that. Farah. And still, even then, I never shied from giving my opinion and positions on something. For somebody to think that I can be cowed into anything, no.
Right,
when I believe in something, I'll tell you I believe in these things, and that's, you don't like it, of course. That's why we all have the freedom of thought and freedom of expression and freedom of something. But then, I never called for anything like violence in our area here. No. I am against violence. I'm actually saying, let us not give anybody the excuse for violence to become widespread in here. Let me tell you one thing. And the tipping balance is very, very delicate. You get my point.
All right, thank you.
People will be excited right now, but that's it.
Thank you. Let's hear from other panelists who are here as well.
You know, as a country, we also have diplomatic relations with Somalia. And Somaliland is also seeking some independence from Somalia. So you never know, in the look of everything, we might end up in another diplomatic fight with Somaliland or Somalia in this context. And as a country, I remember the things we stand for. We stand for peace. And that is why when President Ruto was asked about Israel and Palestine clash, war, he said we stand for the two-state, that we neither support Palestine nor support Israel, but we believe that dialogue should be involved so that there is some sort of ceasefire. And so for the politician in the caliber of Maalim to make such a statement is not something that is sitting well with the country. Especially, politicians must learn that some families making such inflammatory statements at this time is not appropriate. Rex's father, there is a video of Rex's father saying that he works with Nyundo. And despite of the photos being splashed online of the cops that shot Rex, his son, government has done less even to arrest one person in connected with the death of Rex.
Even I have a footage of the cop who shot my kid. He has not been apprehended. And he did it again the other day. Shooting live bullets again.
It's the same guy?
The same guy.
The one wearing blue?
Yeah. He did it again. I think one of the maybe bloggers, and he was shooting direct to journalists like you.
Tear gas, direct in the faces.
Bullet, gun.
I saw the one.
Not bullet.
I saw the one with
it was
tear gas direct.
Not tear gas. Gun. To the media, direct. And when
and actually, according to the reports out there now, is that it's not the first time that he's doing so. He has been doing
the
it.
Fucking idiot is free, walking, eating. Those kind of things make me very bitter. The guy is not everywhere. He's been posted everywhere with the family, and he has not been apprehended. Hajaishikwa, tuambiwa ameshikwa. Na hata sasa hii mwandameni kienda bado atarudi tu.
So when you as a parent who has been affected by the same cop, when you look at him and you look at pictures, you look at videos, and you see him still in the force.
Jamaa hata nikutana naye kwa street, natembeaga na turubaga hapa kwa mgongo. Tatoa nyundo.
So when you look at him and he's still free, do you believe that he's just the hand? There must be someone direct
behind the killings,
giving the orders.
Despite the fact that photos and CCTVs were flashed all over on how Rex was shot by police. You could feel the pain of that father. So, and there are quite a number, it represents a number, there are quite a number that are still also feeling the same, or rather that are in that situation. So if, for example, you buried your son or your daughter was shot in a protest, then you get to social media, and when you scroll through, you find a clip of an MP saying that we have shot 5,000. Of course, I know that it has been compromised. The video clip has been compromised. But the reason why I'm still holding Farah Maalim a bit more accountable on it is because he was speaking on Kenyan land. And it's also at a context where Kenya is also facing the same situation that Somalia and Somaliland is facing. So, he's just avoiding to say I can shoot Gen Zs by saying Somalia and Somaliland. But that doesn't make it better. And also understand, when he was talking to these people, he was not talking in Somalia. He was also talking to them in the context of our political situation here. So there is no way he can run away from this, that I did not mean Gen Z, I did not mean Kenya. He's also a Kenyan MP. And even in Kenya, we have that. And even when you listen to the interview, his response in KTN, he seems to be taking a direct swipe at those who he believes are occupying wrong places. So there is every reason to worry about his statement. But I've been saying, and I even pinned a comment section, when what is happening in this country under the hashtag Ruto must go, I will say it, and you'll agree with me, that it is not anarchy. I don't think even the Gen Zs have guns and what to remove Ruto from power. What is actually happening is what these young people are demanding. They're demanding President Ruto to move from a Saul to Paul. They're demanding change of bad governance. They're demanding a change. So it's not that they're demanding that, we want to kick Ruto out of it. There is a constitutional order. And that is why even when there was occupying State House, the public were convinced that occupying State House is not the right thing. Let us occupy the relevant institutions. And yesterday you could see, and it's not something very funny, yeah? You see some some medical interns had to sleep in the gate of the Ministry of Health, demanding them to be given the contracts as was promised in the return to work formula that was signed by KMPDO. And what the president has resorted to is, playing gimmicks around. So let's look at this. We need to do the right thing. Let me remind politicians, if maybe they are forgetting, or not forgetting, but something that really happened in Egypt. The 2011 Egyptian revolution. I've really read Egyptian revolution, but I can also ask you to find some time and read the 2011 Egyptian revolution that led to Hosni Mubarak being kicked out. It started in January, and what the organizers did mirrors what's happening in this country. And that is why, if you look at what it started, what they were asking for, it mirrors what the Kenyan public is asking for. The protest coincided with the annual holidays, police holiday, as the statement increased on police brutality during the protests that were against Hosni Mubarak. And I think it consisted of demonstrations. It had marches, occupation of plazas. So like what's happening, Occupy Parliament, Occupy State House, Occupy Ministry of Health. That's what happened in Egypt. Occupations of plazas, non-violent civil resistance, act of civil disobedience and boycotts and strikes. Millions of protesters from a range of social, economic, and religious backgrounds demanded that Hosni Mubarak must take responsibility. And remember, Hosni Mubarak had been in power for the last 30 years. Of course, violent clashes between security forces, like what's happening here, and protesters resulted in at least 846 people being killed and 6,000 injured. Protesters retaliated by burning 80 or rather 90 police stations across the country. It's because the government never listened and pursued the angle of we want to crash with the police. 80 police stations were burnt across the country. The Egyptian protesters' grievances focused on legal and political issues, including police brutality, just like in our case, state of emergency that had been imposed, political freedom, civil liberty, freedom of speech, corruption, high-end unemployment, food price inflation, and low wages. If you read that, you'll realize those are some of the problems that even us as a country, we are facing, and that's part of the reason why the Gen Z is on the streets. The protesters' primary demands were on the end of Mubarak regime. Labor unions added pressure on government officials, just like the medical interns were putting pressure on Nakumicha. During the uprising, the capital Cairo was described as war zone, and the port city of Suez experienced frequent violent clashes. Protesters even defied imposed curfews, which the police and the military could not enforce in any case. The Egyptian security forces, loyal to Mubarak, were gradually replaced by military troops. But let's read this part. Something happened. In chaos, there was looting by rioters, which was instigated by plainclothes police officers. Police officers gave ground for rioters to loot. This is what they're saying. And do you know why Hosni Mubarak had now to resign and his vice president Omar Suleiman? When they were given the military troops, he ordered the military troops to kill the civilians. And the military troops said, no, we cannot kill. They declined the orders to shoot and kill. And when the president realized that then even the security forces overwhelmed and had defied the orders to shoot to protect his power, he had no other option but to resign. And of course, that's how it came out, and it didn't turn out very well. So that mirrors what happened here. Why we should stop this anarchy narrative. We should stop anarchy because it has some three, some three interpretations about that anarchy narrative. Number one, leaders are legitimizing what otherwise is extrajudicial activities, extra legal activities by security forces, like just live bullets, arrests, and abductions. We are legitimizing those things, and unnecessarily. In fact, I'm even shocked, like an MP from Kenya North is speaking that way, while the Kenya North has been affected by extra legal activities like abductions and arrests and killings. So we are legitimizing what otherwise is illegal by saying there is anarchy, so I should shoot people. When a police officer who is going there He has that feel, oh, these guys want to overthrow government, let's shoot them. I don't think that's the kind of reasoning that is there. President Ruto must have primary focus and streamlining governance. The anarchy narrative is a detractor. Someone just is a diversion. Then what everyone around Kenya Kwanza and someone who wishes well for President Ruto and even wishes well for his second term should remind him is about governance. What the public is demanding is a move from Saul to Paul. They're not saying that they want to come with guns to State House and remove anyone. I don't think that's the it. And leaders must also be sensitive so that we show empathy for the deceased kings. People have been killed. So we must also show empathy. Otherwise, that is where we are missing the point. Thank you.